Hello there! All things must come to an end, and today it's time to, for the most part, finally finish the Cyberpunk City. I have many plans and not that much plot data, so that's why I actually started to ration the plot data I have left over. And for the part I'm building right now, I've given myself like 5%, I believe. So what that basically means is that I'm basically allowing myself to work on this part of the video until we are up to 87.2% plot data. Because right now we are at 82. And honestly, I'm just hoping that that's enough. I have actually no clue how much plot data this part of the city is going to take up. That said, I should probably talk about what part of the city I'm actually working on. So currently we are right here. So we're basically sitting right behind this part of the city, which also links up to this part of the city, which we built last episode. And it's also the last big expansion we're doing. So basically everything I'm doing after this is just working out the details. At least if we still have the plot data for that. To be fair though, I don't think the area we're working on right now will take up that much space. Then again though, if we're not careful, it will probably be gone sooner than later. So I'll definitely have to keep out an eye for that. I kind of want to finish up the second detailed building. Well, I'm saying second, it's not like this build is that detailed really. This one actually uses basic shapes though. I mean, it's still kind of simple. Don't worry, I will detail this up later. However, you may have noticed that this part of the build actually sticks over this building we made a very long time ago. And we will fix that, don't worry. However, fixing this build requires me to, well, tear all of this down. Which, well, if you like this build, I'm sorry. I just have not really been a fan of it, which is why it's getting a makeover now. Now we can also add in some industrial detailing again, because you know that's my favorite type of detailing. And now I just have to make the windows work. Does this work? I think it does. That looks fine, that looks alright. For the color scheme, I'm pretty sure I'll stick to just this worn down kind of gray. This build will, by the way, not have an interior, if the plot data situation hasn't made that clear enough already. I know it's very under-detailed at the moment, but I just hope that the street furniture and all that stuff will kind of hide this area together. Now that I talk about it, it's probably a smart idea to check the plot data though. So we're currently at 83.1. So wow, we actually have a lot more plot data to play with than I expected. Now there's actually one key element I want this area to have that I haven't talked about yet, and I should probably start working on that now. But to go back to the main inspiration of this series, which as you know is Cyberpunk 2077. In that game around the city there are basically these, well, I don't really know how to describe it, but they're basically just entire buildings designed as kind of spinning billboards, if that makes sense. And I took those kind of as inspiration for this plaza right here. But that's that project basically done as well. I mean, we still have to detail this exterior and all of this plaza, and these buildings as well. I'm pretty sure they won't take up as much plot data, which means we still have space for one more interior. Now I thought about this for a while, and what I decided on was that I wanted to build a ripperdoc. Now if you're not really that deep into the Cyberpunk lore, basically a huge part of Cyberpunk is that you can like modify your body with different implants. And a ripperdoc is basically just some guy you go to implant your implants. And that's what I'm building now. Now we've done surprisingly few neon signs for a Cyberpunk build, mainly just because they're really difficult and most of the time don't even like look that good. But you know, I just thought this is the final episode, so we may as well just embrace it. This is supposed to kind of look like a cross, because you know, ripperdocs, doctors, it's basically in the name. Now this is very basic, admittedly. I'm not entirely sure which details I could add to make it look more interesting. I mean, some supports for the overhang have never hurt anybody, I guess. Yeah, these also work pretty well. To be fair, figuring out details like this has become pretty easy now, since I have been working on this project for a while. And well, that's a pretty decent exterior, if I do say so myself. I thought about it as well, and I plan to just put a lot of market stalls onto this plaza. And you know, it will look very different with all of this open space occupied, so I'm not too worried about it being under-detailed or something like that. Since we are working with constraints, I'm not making this interior that huge. I might even make it smaller. No, I can't place any walls right here because of the window. But don't we have like theater curtains? Which we could theoretically use to kind of separate these two areas. Oh yeah, but they don't. They are pretty big. Do we have a smaller one? I don't think so. Okay, so we won't do that. Now hold on, what we could do as well is we could try and make a custom curtain with pillars. However, before I do that, we should work on this thing right here. So I want this to be the area where you pay for your medical procedures or whatever you're there for. This area will of course get an entrance as well. I'll just put like a desk or something in here. This area won't be that interesting. Of course, we also have to put down some waiting chairs or maybe even a bench. That looks really comfy. I don't think you'll be able to open the door though. We may need a different couch. Oh, hold on, never mind. This is modular, right? So we can just kind of morph these two into each other. But if we do that, it's just a little smaller and we'll be able to open the door. Now that's peak innovation. And now we can place down this rod thingy. And of course a lot of these transparent basic shapes. It does kind of look like one of those plastic curtains. Yeah, it's not pretty, but it is good enough. And that's all I'm really asking for. Most things I built in the series are to some degree inspired by Cyberpunk. I mean, I talk about it a lot. But for this build specifically, there's not a lot of inspiration going on. I'm just plain out copying the designs I remember from the game. Because I honestly, for the life of me, just can't think of a different design. For the details, I'm placing down a ton of these boxes. They're kind of meant to look like, you know, freshly delivered implants. Or just like a shelf of stock, basically. It does make sense for it to be in here because there's not like a dedicated storage room. I guess I would expect that the rents in the city are pretty high. And in that sense, you know, it would make sense that they would choose like a smaller shop like this, just to save on costs, you know? Because this is such a small space though, I believe we already have enough detail. So I only have to like color everything basically, and then I would be finished with this place. By the way, I've added in this kind of blind right here, just so the people outside can't just watch the surgeries through the window. But yeah, honestly, I mean, it's not colored yet, to be fair. But up to this point, I really like how this looks. I'm now working on filling in the area right next to the plaza we were working on. As always, these builds aren't the most interesting, as they are all basically filler, as bad as that sounds. But the main job of these buildings is just to blend in between the actual furnished and nicely designed builds. Nevertheless, it's not like I didn't put any effort into all of these builds. The blue building I built first is heavily inspired by those buildings in Hong Kong. And for the other builds, I made sure they were at least colored interestingly. In the end, it worked out well though, as everything I'm building in this timelapse only takes up like 4% plot data, which is even less than the 5% I expected from this build. This also means that I have enough plot data left to build an entire second interior in this video, which will go right below the builds I'm working on right now. I also continue to work on the ground floor. Now I'm working on the bottom part of the blue build I built first during this timelapse. This is supposed to just look like a garage entrance, as I don't think a shop exterior would really work in a back alley like this. I felt vending machines would still make sense in this area though, so I decided to include them in this exterior right here. Now it's time to work on the last interior of this series though. Now we only have one building left to finish. Now I thought about this for a while, which kind of shop I want to build to end off the entire series. And now I finally decided that I want the final build of the series to be a pizza shop. I mean, we already have a lot of restaurants on this plot, like for example this one and this one down here. And also all of the food stalls we've made long ago. But I don't know, there isn't even like a real reason why I chose a pizza place. I guess I just have some good ideas on how to design a pizza place. I mean, this color combination makes it look like it's a Christmas shop. And as far as I know, pizza isn't really a socially accepted food to eat on Christmas. Looks like even the game doesn't like the color scheme. Well, I kind of lost the plot a little. I forgot what I was talking about. Well, anyways, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this exterior. I don't even know myself if I'm a fan of it. I don't think it fits in particularly well, so I might scrap it, but let's focus on the interior instead. Now inside I'll only set up these tables with these bar stools, to save on money, of course. And then this right here is the serving area. It feels a little boring, to be honest, so I'll try to add in a little shape like this. It's definitely shaped more interesting now. Now we do actually have food displays, which we could use to display the pizza. You know what, this actually looks better than I expected. We could also have a vending machine over here to sell drinks. I don't like this spot though, and this space is a little cramped with these corner tables, so if we delete these and move this over here, it's definitely a better space, and well, that was all I was really asking for. And now it's just about finishing the details. I also still need pizzas to display in here, and that should be easy enough, I guess. Because we do have a phone right here, so I can just order one. Oh, the food has already arrived, that's pretty handy. Now I just have to awkwardly wait like this until the third and fourth one arrive. That's the third one, and that's the final one. Now I have to slowly walk over to the shop. It was a really smart idea of me to place it on the complete other side of the city. But here we are, now we just walk back here, and place the pizzas in here. And I have a slight feeling I didn't order enough of these. I guess we'll see how it looks later. I forgot to close the door. That's going to annoy the hell out of me, but I'm also too lazy to go back and close it. In the interior, the red is kind of growing on me. I do like this. I don't like these pillars sticking through, I have to change that. And even though the color is growing on me, the exterior is definitely not. As some extra decoration, I'll add in a microwave and, well, a sink. This is probably the first sink I placed into any restaurant. Not a very hygienic place, this city. And the final touches I'll just do off camera. I have to admit I did more stuff off camera than I really wanted to. But today's episode included so much work, I don't think it would have been possible. But here's the final pizza shop. I have added this kind of funky pattern on the exterior. And a sign, of course. So yeah, so the exterior is a lot more cyberpunky now, and just nicer in general. I didn't do much on the interior though. But right here the pizzas are on display and you can just, you know, grab a slice and then eat it right here or outside right here. That's basically the pizza shop. And if we move along here, these are all of the kind of background builds I did during the time lapse. Down here, these as well. They're not massively detailed. They don't really have to be though. And then if we go back, first of all there's this crossing right here over this highway, which goes along the entire build. Then there's this tunnel, not much to say about this. And this is the small plaza I did. I've added all these market stalls in off camera just because, you know, we've done a market already. And this is basically just that but copied over with some different products on sale. But what's actually interesting is this right here. So this is the ripperdoc. If you go into here, here's kind of like a waiting area, you know, the checkout. This is a workbench to kind of repair broken implants, and this is the seat where the patients get treated. It's a pretty small shop. It's not overly detailed. We have these shelves right here with stock, but other than that it's pretty simple. And I mean that's basically it with this area. All of this stuff is new as well, like this building and all of these. I didn't do those off camera. We built those during a live stream. So if you want to see how I made these, I mean the designs are not really complicated, but if you're curious, just check out the VOD. But that is basically it with this build. Thank you so much for watching. And bye!